Follow the sun, which way the wind blows.
Blended learning is about using the potential of online learning to make the most out of face-to-face teaching, creating a more effective and efficient learning experience. Blended learning isn't about digitalising our resources and putting them on an online platform so that students can access them. It's more than this. I was very ambitious with my blended learning. I wanted to get through an overwhelming amount of content in 18 months. I wanted to have the time to sit one-on-one with my students so that I could assist them when they needed my help. And I wanted to provide them with timely feedback. I also wanted them to become independent learners. Basically, I wanted them to be able to learn without me. I wanted to give them freedom and choice in their learning, and I wanted them to collaborate rather than compete. The blended learning model that I came up with, I called Content at Home and Skills in the Classroom. Basically, I used online technology as a tool to deliver my content, and this, for me, freed up face-to-face time. And I use this time to teach, for the explicit teaching of skills, to sit one-on-one with my students and to provide them with personalised feedback.
We have all the content that we need to learn online, and we learn that at home, so all the grammar, all that stuff, all the new vocabulary. And then in class time we can implement what we've learnt at home and use those techniques. And we have the teacher there, and it's more one-on-one because she can come around the classroom and show us what we're doing rather than just standing up and teaching it in front of the class. So it's more, we're learning how to use the language rather than just the rules, because we do that at home.
And apply the knowledge to activities.
So with our online component, Prof has set up a WordPress website, and we have a total of, I think, 20 units, and each unit has video tutorials on understanding grammar, vocabulary lists, and then 3 different tasks. So there's do-at-home tasks, there's doing class tasks, and then there's peer tutor classes.
And the other thing we have on here is information about our peer tutoring network, which helps us connect to an Italian tutor who actually lives in Italy and is learning English.
There's no map that can lead us. Come on and fly.
We have peer tutors over in Italy that we use Skype to get in contact with. So that's really helpful as well, because it's kind of casual, but we're also learning at the same time. We spend half an hour twice a week. Also, it's kind of casual in the way because they're our age as well.
Some of the features that I like on the website are the videos that Prof puts up of just explaining it and taking you through it, because I find that for me that really helps me whenever I'm struggling or something. I can just go, hey, I can go back and click on the video, and that's all just available to you 24/7, which is really helpful.
All the units are uploaded onto a WordPress site, and then all the at-home activities and grammar are already on there, and you go home and you learn that before you come to class, and then you do a quiz in class on the stuff that you've learnt at home.
When we're actually in class, I would say probably we get more face-to-face time with the teacher with blended learning, because we can do one-on-one talks rather than just being addressed as a whole class or just working through our work while the teacher sits at the front. We tend to actually talk to the teacher and ask her if we have questions, without hesitation that you might have if you're in a whole class environment where everyone's being addressed at once.
I really enjoy this type of learning and with the online units, because you're able to go ahead or catch up where you need to, and then you can consolidate that learning and any difficulties you've had in class time.
I often miss school because of sporting commitments, and the best thing about the online unit is that all of the resources are there online for you, so even if you're away, you're still able to work through it and you're not going to miss all of the information which you usually learn in class time. And since you're used to working through it on like the weekly basis, it's not like a big shock that you have to do it all at home. You're able to continue working through it, and then once you get back from being away, you understand and you won't be behind. It's also really helpful for when you're preparing for, say, like an exam, because being able to not only just ask the teacher for help, they have all the resources on the online unit. So whatever topics you ever struggled in, you go back, you re-look at them.
We get a lot more feedback in class on what we're doing wrong, what we can do better, rather than, just because normally in class you just look at the board and write down the rules and then you'd go home and do all the other stuff yourself, whereas if you do it in the reverse, you're actually getting more feedback and you're learning better.
I think what's good about the feedback that we get in Italian is, first of all, the speed and like in terms of time, like how quickly we get our feedback back, but also how like we also get feedback in both oral and written forms as well.
With that kind of personal feedback, you do get quite a lot of detail, and so it's quite tailored to what you want to know or what you need to know in terms of your writing style or speaking style.
We have the opportunity for like personal feedback with Miss Corsini, which means that you can talk to her during that period, having regular feedback from like week to week. It's the fact that you don't get that shock after assessments of like doing really badly.
It's like a progress. You just keep track of progress as you proceed through the course.
Learning a language this way is a lot more efficient because you move through topics a lot faster because you're able to understand them better, having the resources available at all times, and so it keeps it more interesting. You don't like linger on a topic for a really long time because you have to keep on moving forward, and you don't need to linger on topics because you're able to understand them better with the help of the online unit. And when you try to learn it by yourself first, you usually learn it a lot more in depth.
I think by making us feel more independent as learners, we do feel more engaged because we feel responsible for our learning.
To make a blended learning course successful, it's essential that you're a motivated learner and that you take the initiative to push yourself and make sure that you stay up to date, because if you don't, then you just fall behind and then you don't do well in the course. But I think that once you start to learn and understand that you need to keep up with your work and ask questions and make sure that you know what's going on, then you start to really succeed and you start to see like that you're improving so much and you've learned so much in such a short amount of time, which motivates you to do even more work. Teaching me to be more independent in my learning, because I'm learning that I have to stay up to date without being forced to stay up to date. And I think once you start to see your results improving, then you want to stay up to date even more without your teacher forcing you to.
We thought that it'd be really useful for other classes as well, because I think it'd just be like another like a source to look at and know that it's like a teacher there. Like, it's a bit hard to explain, but it has notes. It has your notes that you need to know. It has your vocab. It has activities for you to do, like homework and stuff like that. And you can do it in your own time.